Mr. Cloud is recognized for his questions.
Thanks for being here. First of all, it's not lost on me, certainly, or I think anybody here, that you're literally dealing with rocket science, and that's way beyond my pay grade. Our job, though, is to manage the checkbook, and I'm curious about the process, because we all agree that mission success is critical. All see the scientific, humanitarian, national security implications, but we're presented with thousands of good ideas every day, and we have to manage that on a budget. And so I'm curious about the bidding process, because it seems almost like it's normal process in business that we bid a project, it gets approved, but we know that we'll actually be able to spend as much money as we want on it. You mentioned that everything went back to NASA and was approved. So does NASA think they have the right to spend more money on projects that Congress approves? Or it seems like that rebidding process, or that extra work order, change order process that Ms. Lesko talked about, should come back to Congress. Does that not happen? And I understand it seems like part of the low bid process is being part of the problem, in the sense that we put a low bid project, and then we take on these great, awesome projects and try to move them forward. Is there anything we can do in the bidding process to remedy that?
So I think that is a really good question, and Mr. Young talked about this a little bit earlier. I would simply reinforce what he said. We have found that the customer communities that implement an independent cost estimating process as a part of their source selection activities tend to end up with budgetary strategies and management strategies that are a bit more robust against the inevitable variability of some of these complex programs. And we can turn the clock way back, because we're talking about Webb, where a contract decision was made, I believe it was in 2002. But a lot has changed in acquisition strategy since then, both at NASA as well as some other customer communities. And the use of independent cost estimating, when done well, often results in contractors being selected who did not bid the lowest cost, because the customer community then has the opportunity to evaluate bids against this broader analytic of what it should cost to do a job. And I think that's a healthy practice. I endorse its use. And Mr. Young, I would defer to you if you have some other things to add to it.
No, I don't. I think that's really what I would advocate. I don't mean this quite the way it sounds, but I would recommend that cost proposals or cost-plus contracts never be opened. I mean, I think they only, confuse the situation. It's independent cost estimating is really the quality of the process. It
seems to me, too, like putting together some sort of system where we could rate government contractors based on past performance of on-time delivery and on budget might be something to work into that project. One other question. You testified that the Sun Shield was more difficult than was thought, and I can appreciate that. Maybe Mr. Young touched on this in the last question, but in the original bid, my understanding is that the Sun Shield was promoted as existing technology, yet we're finding out that a lot of the cost overruns had to do with that not being existing technology. Could you clarify?
I can't speak to what may have been written many years ago, but I would be very clear that the Sun Shield is a new invention and a new development. And as we've gone through it, it has been exciting to see how those developments have occurred. If you look at each of the levels of the Sun Shield, the membranes, they're about the thickness of a human hair, Kapton, silicon-coated. It is a phenomenal class of technology. It will have a lot of other applications over time, but this has clearly been a new development.
Yeah, I think if I would add,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Cloud, if you